Welcome to the Secret Sauce of Outsourcing podcast that's dedicated to making you better at working with OFS, online Filipino specialists. This is episode 404, How to Be a Good Boss to OFS. So recently I had an email from Shelly, which I talked about on the podcast, and she talked about how amazing her OFS are. And Shelly, it turns out, is a really good boss. And she recently sent me another email because after hearing about how amazing her people are, I asked her more. I was like, well, I want to know, what are you doing that makes them so amazing? How good are they? I want to know all this stuff. What do you do as a boss? And so she sent me an email back about how she treats her people. And it turns out it doesn't take a ton to make people happy. You just have to be a reasonable boss. And Shelly is. She communicates, she trains, she offers fair wages, and she shows appreciation when they do good stuff. So I want to read Shelly's email. And you'll see pretty quickly that she's a good boss. And it's really interesting to me, when you're a good boss, you're better than most of the jobs in the Philippines, where the authority respect in the Philippines is really high, and so a lot of people, when they get a little bit of power, they abuse that power, and that's especially true in the Philippines. So when you're a reasonable person, you treat people well, you're a much better situation than most jobs they could get in the Philippines. If they could get a job, which a lot of the time they just can't, but different story. And so they want to do really good stuff for you. So here, let me just read you what Shelly wrote. Did a ton of research before we even decided to give this a try. I followed all the advice people gave. Offer a fair rate for fair work, be as specific as possible in the ad, ask the right questions and make sure they are compatible, which I'm just going to pause there for a second. So interesting. This morning I had this conversation with someone who said, why don't you guys just vet people for everyone else? And I was like, dude, that's the worst. It's the worst business model, because I'm never going to be as good at vetting someone for your business as you are. Personality matters, and Shelly gets that. I ask questions and make sure that they are compatible. She doesn't say make sure that they are skilled, but that they're compatible with her, which is such a big deal, and I can't make sure someone is compatible with your personality. You have to make sure someone's compatible with your personality, and you're the one who's going to work with this person for a long time, and this is part of the reason why Shelly's doing so well with this. So she continues. After hiring, be communicative. Send videos if needed. Be sure to give ongoing training and show genuine interest and appreciation in the human beings you hired. I love that she calls them human beings, because so often we just think of them as OFS. It's like an acronym on the other side of the world, which I hate that I have to use that, but I have to use something. But they're humans, and so often people miss that point that you're working with a human here, and that human has feelings and a family and makes mistakes and does really great stuff and wants to do really great stuff and wants to contribute. And Shelly gets it, right? So she continues. This is where it really gets good. She says, I will never forget when one of my ladies told me she was able to move into a bigger home that, quote, has windows because of her $5 an hour job with me. She was so proud and excited. I was excited for her too. I will also never forget when I gave my first two workers their first raise and new titles. Virtual assistant no longer described all the work they were doing. They both cried. I had to ask if maybe the raise wasn't enough, but they both told me that they were tears of happiness, and that no employer had ever treated them as well as they are treated with us. How you treat people matters. It really matters. She continues, I have now put one of my original hires in charge of all PH hires, and have shown her how to use your website. She vets all the applicants for us before we interview and does our onboarding for us. I trust her completely, and I'm so happy that we were able to make a difference in their lives. So again, personality matters, right? She does all the vetting before Shelly interviews to make sure personality is compatible. It matters. One last thing. We love that you have their DISC info on there. That's capital DISC. It's a personality test. In our first two hires, we were specifically looking to take charge D personalities, and made our final decisions based on that. My boss, our VP, is a certified DISC coach, so he was very impressed with that feature. So I just want to recap the things that Shelly does well. Number one, she pays fairly, which, I got an email this morning. I keep talking about things that happened today. I get a lot of communication with people every day. This morning I get an email from someone that says, I don't know why I'm not getting very many applicants. I'm offering to pay $3 an hour, but I'm getting people that want $6 to $10 an hour. And I'm like, well, $3 an hour isn't enough. It's not fair in today's world, right? So you want to know why? Well, that's why, because people want to make more. You're paying too little. Shelly pays fairly. She interviews thoroughly, pays attention to personality. She uses DISC, which I really love that she uses DISC. You get the right people with the right personality towards the job, the right disposition towards the job, and then their personality fits with you, and it really works really well. She communicates well, she trains people, which has such an effect on how they want to work for you, on them trusting you. She cares about the people she works with, she gives raises, she gives titles. And then I love that she's assigning things to them that she maybe didn't think about before. I mean, the fact that they were virtual assistants and now virtual assistant doesn't describe their work anymore. Yeah, virtual assistant doesn't describe most of the work that people do when you hire them out of the Philippines. That's why I don't call them virtual assistants. I call them OFS, Online Filipino Specialists. And I'm going to guess that most of Shelly's people are specialists now. So, I mean, this can be really, really good. Training, managing, treating people well, it really makes a difference in their life, and then it really makes a really big difference in your life. Are you ready to get started? Check out ofsguide.com.